Dear friends, dear music lovers from all over the world, welcome back to Rotterdam, welcome back to De Doelen, to the International Conducting Competition Rotterdam. I say welcome back because today it is round 4 of ICCR, dedicated to the opera. Masterpiece, tam pam 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 pam, Carmen. Fortunately, I won't be singing today, but we have 5 wonderful soloists, all winners of another competition, the International Vocal Competition Den Bosch. They will be performing. Their names are Kelly Paukens, who will sing Frasquita, Claire Barnett-Jones, Carmen, Florieke Belen, Mercedes, Anton Kuzenok. He will sing both Le Remendado and Don José, and Raúl Stefani will be singing Le Dan Caïr. They will be performing and rehearsing this morning with the Rotterdam Philharmonic Orchestra and the Laurens Symphony Chorus, and all of them will be conducted by the 6 finalists of the International Conducting Competition Rotterdam. Those 6 conductors are Carlos Ágreda, Luis Toro Araya, Martijn Dendievel, Chloe Rooke, Bertie Baigent, and Joel Sandelson. They are here all week long in Rotterdam, conducting 5 rounds in total with all different types of repertoire. And as said, today is all focused on the opera, the biggest it gets when you are a conductor. They will be judged by a jury, and the jury members judge both a private rehearsal, which has taken place yesterday, a public rehearsal, which is taking place this morning, and a concert, which is taking place tonight. 4 of the 6 finalist conductors will be selected to perform tonight. The jury members are Ara Guzeliimian, Ed Spanjaard, Elmar Weingarten, Sophie de Lind, Giordano Bellincampi, Enrique Mazzola, Kim Noltemi, and Jeremy Geffen for this round. You, as an audience, also have a vote. Go to iccr.nl/vote to select your favorite conductor. Over 1,000 votes have already been brought out by you. So that is great, but the more, the better, of course. So go to iccr.nl to vote. Each conductor will rehearse this morning for 25 minutes with the whole ensemble. And to get to know these conductors, Nanda Circle has made beautiful portrait documentaries about them. Every day we are broadcasting one of these documentaries. And today's documentary you are about to watch is from Chloe Rooke.
I do love to bring energy and joy and expression and emotion always into the music I make, and trying to energize and channel that into the musicians so that the audience can feel that too. And that's always the connection. We're always thinking about how are we serving our audience, what are we offering to them, and what are we bringing to their day. I'm studying here in the Netherlands on the National Master in Orchestral Conducting, and as part of that we get classes with our teachers in The Hague and in Amsterdam, but we also get to assist with all of the orchestras in the Netherlands. This week I've been assisting 𝐷𝐴 Bijlmeijer with the Residency Orchestra, and we're going to go and join her for the rehearsal. They're working on Schumann and Brahms, and it's really great to get to make notes and to watch the rehearsal and just to learn from Anya working and seeing her interact with the orchestra. When it was strings only, it was great, and then I think we came up again, so I make some notes and I'm listening and I'm thinking about what's happening, what I can spot that we could improve, and then at the end of the rehearsal I get a chance to chat to Anya. The colour was so good playing with 2 hairs of the bow. It was amazing. The winds are rushing. Still the tuning in this passage. Da-da-dee-um, da-da-dee-um. And also during the week, if Anya needs to have a listen in the hall, I get to conduct for a bit, so it's a really good chance to spend some time working with a professional orchestra. Really, I think there can be more in this melody, ba-dee-da-da, but sometimes like the quarter notes just sound a little bit flat. I feel really grateful over the past 2 years to have been able to spend so much time, particularly with this lovely orchestra here in The Hague, in their new building in Amare. Tum, 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 tum. Great. I think that's everything. It's so grounding here kind of being connected to the earth and to the sea, and especially on a day like this, I feel very inspired about the world around me. We're here at the beach in The Hague. This is called 𝐿𝐴𝐵𝐻𝐿𝐵𝐻, and it's somewhere I really like to come and get away from not just the busyness of the city, but sometimes the busyness of being a musician and conducting, and actually just to take a moment. I find so much inspiration comes from just walking and just being here. As a kid, I was always really into music and singing and dancing, and I remember even as a 2-year-old, I was so wanted to dance and to kind of perform that my parents got me into ballet classes like half a year early. And actually, as I grew up and I did singing and dancing and a lot of theatre, I remember my dance teacher saying, "Your arms move so well, 𝐿𝐴𝐵𝐻, if only your legs moved as well as your arms." And I always I wonder if that was where the conducting came from. In fact, the conducting came out of playing the flute, which I took up when I was 11. Before that, I'd played the piano a bit, and I remember picking up the flute and thinking, this is so easy, it's only one line of music. So in my teenage years, I really thought I was going to go and be a flute player. I also got into music directing for musical theatre. And so as I got to the age of 18, I was thinking, I'm not really sure what I want to do. I know I want to do music, and I know I love making music, and I knew I wanted to be surrounded by people and music, but I wasn't quite sure which direction that was going to be in. And so in the end, I decided to go to university to do music at Oxford. And it was at Oxford I ended up getting into conducting. I found I was actually able to conduct an orchestra already, just with some of my friends. And we set up a little chamber orchestra at my college. And I did that, and I remember the first rehearsal, when it finished, I just thought, wow, this is so fun, and such a good fit in a way I would have never realized until I tried it. The work snowballed ahead of me before I realized that that was what I was going to be doing with my life. It's really important that we don't go to a complete standstill. It can happen once, but it can't happen again. So what's really important, and I was saying this to the cellos yesterday, because I know you're both new, and cellos who have done this before, it's really important that you're an absolute team in the cellos and the bass, and that you keep guiding it. And also we have a lot of melody in the clarinet, I think I heard, and also in the saxophone. Listen to the melody. If you're not sure you are, we take it from the melody. But in general, that shouldn't be necessary if the bass line keeps going. And just last thing, I know some of the passages and tricky and things.
Forget about your words and your strife. I mean the bare necessity. That's why you're there and rested.
Street Orchestra is a project founded with a mission to bring music to everyone, anywhere, in orchestra, which is probably one of the most complex vehicles and mechanisms that exists. I mean, it's a complete mark of human ingenuity that we're able to do something like this. When you're in a concert hall, it's such a beautiful setting to hear very clearly, but actually there is a bit of a fourth wall that's put up between the orchestra, between the musicians and the audience. Really quickly, go! Find a toilet. I think one of the best things about live music is communication. It's the fact that you're impacting someone, you're inspiring them, you maybe even changing them a little bit by the music you're offering. Because we take down all the walls, that we're up, we're in the audience, we're talking to them, we're communicating, we're up, and players, we're always encouraging them to make eye contact and to be communicating with their music to the audience. And we see the result of that as the audience respond back. And we actually get a feeling for how we're moving the room, how sometimes it's a bit softer and people are left to reflect, and sometimes they are completely energized.
I'd say as well, she has a real passion for people as well as music. So she really has this passion that everyone should see orchestral music and experience it. And I think that's what drives her passion and her ambition. She's really wanting people to really love what music is about.
My family have been, the most amazing support system that I could have hoped for, just so supportive. And I also have a younger brother, Will, who is the most joyful person and also has special needs. growing up, we had a very unusual but very beautiful relationship, and he doesn't speak very much, but he has a way of communicating that goes well beyond words, and I find his purity and his joy and love of life one of the most inspiring things I've ever encountered. I see his joy in music, and the way he responds to music is so raw and very open. I'm always very inspired, and I want to be more like him in that way. We have a wonderful relationship, and we communicate a lot through songs and through... he has this amazing ear, and he can remember phrases, and not just the phrase, but the intonation of the phrase. And so often if we're going out somewhere, I'll create a little story based on a song, or farms are the perfect example because there are all sorts of songs about animals. And he also loves music, and he loves, we go to church on a Sunday and he loves the music there. That's a really powerful thing. I think we live in an amazing time at the moment, actually, and we're really at the cutting edge of where classical music's going and where leadership's going too. And to be a conductor in this age where we're seeing the model for leadership shifting and away from being kind of one person who's in control and sets the rules, into a much more collaborative approach, and even beyond a collaborative approach where the conductor is one amongst equals. And that's such an exciting task, in a way, to create a space where you are simply collaborating with what the musicians are giving and you're trying to enable them. It's easier for one person to make a decision, but actually that's not the most fruitful and not the most vibrant way of making music, because you're not taking the best of what you have on offer. I know when I walk into a room that I'm not the person with the best ideas or even the best musicianship, but I come with an open hand with what I love about the music, and I know that everyone in the room has their own loves. When an audience comes in, they've come from their days, they've come from bad days, good days, challenging days, families. But something changes in that moment because they are inspired, and the orchestra is a hyper-communicative, hyper-interactive vessel that sort of projects communication and energy and light often into what can be a dark world. I definitely don't want that to become just about me when I'm conducting. What I want is to be a part of that communicative vessel and see the transformation, the change that can bring. I really think because of that ability music has to change people a little bit, it has the chance to change bigger things, to change communities, and that's something we really need in the world right now. My time up. Thank you very much.
Portrait Nander Circle made of Chloe Rooke, one of the 6 conductors that are finalists here in Rotterdam during the International Conducting Competition Rotterdam. My name is 𝐷ristiaan 𝐿𝐼𝐿. I have the immense pleasure of presenting this competition, this very special international conducting competition, which you can follow live on YouTube or on ICCR.nl. Today is a very busy day because this 4th round is dedicated to opera. And that means that a lot of people are involved, and we are very, very happy that the Rotterdam Philharmonic Orchestra is with us today, an international top ensemble, together with the Laurens Symphony Choir. They are seated here at the balcony where I also stand, so it's a bit messy, but that is nice. Also 5 soloists, winners of the international vocal competition Den Bosch, are with us today. Kelly Paukens, Claire Barnett-Jones, Florieke Beelen, Anton Kuzenok and Raoul Stefani. And they are here to rehearse this morning and to perform tonight parts, scenes, arias from Bizet's Carmen. Bizet's top hit, one of the most performed operas in the world. 2 selections are made from that opera, and 3 conductors will conduct one selection, the first selection, and 3 other conductors will conduct the second selection. We will start with Carlos Ágreda, Joel Sandelson, and Luis Toro Araya during this morning session of the rehearsals. They'll be working on the Overture to the first act, the Habanera, the wonderful, beautiful, famous top hit. Also from the first act, scene 5, Sur tes pas nous présons, with the choir. From the third act, scene 19, Melon, and scene 20, Canto d'un ânier, with Frasquita, Mercedes, Carmen, le 𝐾𝐨, yes, and le remendado, plus the choir. So it's a big organization for these conductors to keep that all together and to work with all these disciplines, both the big orchestra, the big choir, and the 5 soloists. We are all very excited here. The jury is excited. They're entering now. Araguza Limian, Ed Spanjaard, Elmar Weingarten, Sophie de Lind, Giordano Bellincampi, Enrique Mazzola, Kim Noltemy, and Jeremy Geffen have already listened to a private rehearsal yesterday. They're here this morning for the public rehearsal, and they will select 4 of the 6 conductors to perform tonight here at the Doelen in Rotterdam. You as an audience, as watchers and listeners online from all over the world, also have a vote. If you have a favorite conductor, please bring out your vote on iccr.nl/vote, because there's an audience award to be given away of 10,000 euros. So that's a very serious prize. Over 1,000 people have already voted, so please join them on iccr.nl/vote. So we know at the end of this competition on Friday who will get the audience award. What else is there to be said? For me, I think not much more. As said, it is a public rehearsal, so there is audience in the hall, and because of the big organization of this event, I will become silent now to give everybody time and concentration to prepare on the first rehearsal with Carlos Ágreda. He's from Colombia and will start this morning. If you're watching on YouTube, let us know via the chat box where you're listening from, because that is nice for us to know that we have an audience from all over the world. So please comment your country, say hello to us, and we will say hello back to you. Please prepare and enjoy Carlos Ágreda's rehearsal with the Rotterdam Philharmonic Orchestra, the Laurens Symphony Choir, and the 5 soloists: Kelly Paukens, Claire Barnett-Jones, Florieke Beelen, Anton Kuzenok, and Raoul Stefani. They will start at 10 o'clock Central European Time. And I hear shh, so the orchestra will prepare. Enjoy.
Good morning, everybody. We welcome the choir. Thank you very much for being here. I am very excited to be working with you, and especially with this wonderful music. It's going to be a long day, I hear. So are we ready to have a lot of fun? Yes. Let's do the overture, please. We are going to do selection number 1 with me. And I hear that you have everything clear now, which is great. Let's hope. Okay. Sorry. I know you're used to do it a little bit faster, but I'd like to emphasize the melody more than the punching, okay? Thank you. Habanera, please. Wonderful. you very much. Can we continue with scene number 5, please? Oh, sorry, number 6. Scene number 6, that's what it is. Bravi, choir. Can we start once again?
Carmen, sur tes pas nous nous plaisons tous. Carmen, sois gentil au moins réponds-nous. Oh Carmen, sois gentil au moins réponds-nous.
Melon, thank you very much. I feel they're mixing the cards here.
Sur son cheval et dans la montagne il m'entraîne dans un château presque royal, le mien mais sans nom souveraine. De l'amour on n'en plus finir, tous les jours nos vies nous volent, de l'or tant que j'en peux te dire, de diamants, de pierreries. Tu viens de chez Femme son tombe marchant à sa suite. Le mien, corrige mes yeux,
Brava, bravi. Yes, wonderful. Thank you very much. We have 1 minute to do this little section here from number 3, please. Moi, je vois un jeune amoureux. Yeah, I think this. That's right. And yes, thank you. The only thing, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, after 3, flute and clarinet, she's taking one tiny bit of time in that long note for the resolution, that's all. And the same, when you play after 3, I don't have measure numbers, you know, but you know the next time you play that, she takes a little bit time as well. Let's do 3, please. How about we do 4 before 3, so you can have the moi. Oh, bless you, bless you. 4 before 3, the non-crescendo long notes, right?
Je vois ce jeune amoureux qui m'émonite davantage. Le mieux caresse ta vue, mais il parle de mariage. Il me compte sur son cheval et dans la montagne il m'entraîne. Dans un château presque royal, le mien installant souveraine.
Thank you very much. Wonderful. Thank you. Bravi. Yes, that's it. Yeah, that was perfect. Thank you very much. Can we down now Le Douanier? Number 21, Morceau d'ensemble. Quand au douanier, c'est notre affaire. Thank you very much. Much better, right? Yeah. sorry. Yes, I'm not feeling it in the sense that I think I'm trying to be a little bit faster. You know, this march. We're going to battle the douanier, and our weapon is seduction, right? But it's anyway a march, not very heavy. Do you mind if we do it from Juan or douanier when the second time when the chorus enters? When the chorus enters, the ladies enter at 26, please. And then that I think that's the feeling we're looking for. One. Yes. Oh. Hey. Lighter. Bravi, thank you very much. Remember that marchon, we're going to do it a little bit in tempo. Marchon en avant. Yes, okay, let's do that, why not? How about we do this beautiful section from Il ne s'agit pas de bataille, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 before 29. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 before 29. Do you know where is it? Chorus? Oh, you have your music. Fantastic. Il ne s'agit. Can you give me a B natural, please? And a D sharp or... Yes? We said Il ne s'agit? Do you have your notes? Perfect. Dolce pizzicato. 1.
Il ne s'agit pas de bataille, il s'agit tout simplement de laisser notre bataille. Et d'écouter aveuglément, s'il faut donner jusqu'à sauver nous sauver.
Thank you very much. Marchons en avant, right? Fantastic. That is the idea. One little thing here that I think we can achieve is at 26, Juan O'Douanier between chorus and solo is the, dynamic game that he's playing. I think we can play it as well. 26, please, which is the second time when the choir enters. Can you give me a F sharp, please, just in case? Good. Do we have the notes? Fantastic. 26. We know where it is? Yeah. Even that forte, I don't feel it forte. Juan O'Douanier. 1. Breath for the singers at the fourth measure of that section. You know what I mean? Especially when bassoon enters, that is all what we need. Can we do directly 28, which is Oui le douanier, the pianissimo part section, after you say that is, yeah. After your cadenza, after entrepreneur. 28, please, directly. I'm sorry, the last thing I forgot to say is this transition of sound, Yum, ba-bam. And then they're going to talk sincerity, right? You're going to talk, maybe we'll let ourselves be caught, and maybe hear a compliment. That sincerity, I think that transparency in the sound is that transition that I think we can really make it sound. 28. 1. A pleasure to be with you. My time is over. Thank you very much. That is absolutely beautiful. Bye.
Carlos Ágreda working on Bizet's Carmen with the Rotterdam Philharmonic Orchestra, Laurens Symphony Choir and 5 soloists, winners all of the international vocal competition Den Bosch. Aan de mensen hier in de zaal, to the people here in the hall, the main hall of the Doelen in Rotterdam, welcome to the public rehearsal of the 4th round of the International Conducting Competition Rotterdam. The round dedicated to opera and specifically to Bizet's Carmen. We will continue now with Joel Sandelson. He will also be working on the first selection, scenes and arias or duets from the first act of Carmen and the third. Everything is getting ready again for Joel. Joel is one of the 3 conductors from the United Kingdom. And he's here.
Good morning, chorus. Good morning, orchestra. Singers. So this is, I think you've just played it. Could we go from the last number in this selection, so Contour Douanier.
C'est notre affaire, laissez-nous passer en avant. C'est notre affaire,
Thank you very much. So yeah, just at the end, just after figure 30, could this figure have a little crescendo as well? That figure in the winds. Okay, thank you very much. So in the chorus, I think the most important thing in here especially is the text and the line with the altos especially. like at the beginning, shorter, more staccato. Can be really punchy in here, especially. Let's go back to where the chorus comes in for the first time, so 26. Not too heavy. I think in general, the words that start with vowels need to be more direct when we start them. So il, aim, clearer start to it. Once again, could I just have the chorus alone? Chorus alone? The first entry. Dynamics are quite sudden, so laissez-nous passer more subito piano. But I think that works very well. Let's do tutti at 26. Sound in the tenors and basses. And can we cut clair a bit shorter? It's just ringing a little bit. Let's go from 27, tutti. Sorry, let's do 2 before 27 and have the resolution the same length, so a little bit shorter. So off quicker. 2 before 27. Take at 28 basses, tenors, and tutti strings. So starting. It needs to be more of a kind of whispering feeling, so a little bit more secretive. Once again. Sorry, but without same character, but without losing staccato Great, yeah. And that's great if the last one is a bit more just like that. Okay, tutti at 28. Thank you very much. The second time especially. Let's go a little bit more flow. Let's try, there's no letter. Okay, before 29. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 before 29. Thank you. So, unison?
Yeah.
First.
Yeah. Tout simplement,
we have more in that entry, the the low notes, just dig it out a little bit. And also before that, sopranos and altos, the bar with all the eight, la contrebande, a bit more, insist on it a bit more. Okay, 29 direct?
Just going into 29, do we actually have a crescendo there? We're not yet doing that.
Yes, yeah, I think that would be. Yeah. Okay, can we do, in that case, let's do 4 before 29. But I think quite late.
Yeah.
Yes, please. Yeah. Okay, 4 before 29. Thank you.
Yeah.
So more on the repetition of the word, I think, so a bit more separation between them. Let's go before 30, 3 bars. 3 bars before 30. And again, a later crescendo in the orchestra. 3 before 30. Thank you, bravo. Can we go to Habanera? that just in the bassoons and horns, when we get to the polka sforzando, could it be more like a sforzando piano? I think a little bit away. And then in the chorus, could we have, when we get to the with the fermata, more crescendo, but only after the winds come off, basically. So really in the last half of the bar, crescendo. Okay, could we just go back to the first chorus entry, so the first key change. Could we have l'amour est un oiseau rebelle? Rebelle a bit more. Okay, first key change. I think we can be more than Carmen, a little bit more detached. L'amour est un oiseau. Just a little bit more text. Same thing once again. Needs to be more punchy. Prends garde à toi. So later 16th, I think. Prends garde à toi. So through the text, it can be more marcato. Let's go, can we do straight on this bar? Prends garde à toi, which is, we don't have anything. The forte, yeah. Bar of the forte. Really late, really late. One. Prends garde à toi. Same thing. We just need to, in this entry, we need to be a little bit earlier. So just listen to when the bass is playing, and then one, l'amour est un. Let's go straight on after this fermata we just reached. So the mezzo forte, but piano for the winds.
Si
so Carmen sur tes pas. This is, I think you have number 6. Number 6. Just let's go once again. So at the beginning, can it come in earlier? So Carmen, tous tes pas nous sont tous. Once again, a bit more marcato on the cello.
Carmen, sur tes pas nous sont tous. Carmen, sois gentil, on m'a répondu. Réponds-nous, oh Carmen, sois gentil, on m'a répondu.
Okay, and then let's elongate the moi repons-nous, so it's a quicker breath between. And yeah, more desperation, I think. It's the tuning is great, but it can be more dramatic. Once again.
Carmen, sur tes pas nous sont tous. Carmen, sois gentil, on m'a répondu. Réponds-nous, oh Carmen, sois gentil, on m'a répondu.
Sorry, I meant senza rit at the end, but yeah. Could we go from the number 27, figure 27 in this, with this brass chord, and then più scherzando, I think. L'amour est en fondo. Again, the late 60s.
Deze, kunnen we die langer, beetje geleidelijk doen?
So figure 27, thank you. Sorry, so it's just 2 before that chord. So there are 2 bars before. Yeah. That's it. Bravo, bravo, bravo. Thank you very much.
Sandelson, working with the Rotterdam Philharmonic Orchestra, Laurens Symphony Choir, and the soloists. He's working on the first selection of arias and scenes and duets from Carmen. The last conductor of the 6th who will work on the first selection is Luis Toro Araya. Preparations for him are made. We know you are watching from all over the world. We've seen people from the United States, from Taiwan, from Nigeria. Wonderful. If you're on YouTube, please let us know where you're from. We love to know that. And of course, people here in the hall are also present thank you very much for being here during this fourth round of the International Conducting Competition, Rotterdam. We'll continue with Luis Toro Araya, who's entering the rostrum. Enjoy his rehearsal.
Good morning, everyone. Nice to see you again. We start, please, with the ensemble, Quanto Donier, the last one. Just one little thing. May I remind you of the articulation in the second bar? That would be, please, the same for the choir at the very beginning. Can we make very clear the difference? Quanto donier, short, and then please keep the sostenuto when we start. Quanto donier, c'est la fin. So really long, please, exactly as it's written. Can we try that once? Let's say once more from the beginning, so we also do exactly the same. Beginning, please, once more. I think the pizzicato at the very beginning can be much more, and then when they start, then we reduce again. But we start with much more character. It would be great in the choir place, 𝐿𝐴 if we, with the same energy we have now, but if we can really keep the sostenuto all the time. Sostenuto, but also with a lot of character, with much more accent actually in each syllable. So 𝐿𝐴, but always keeping the sostenuto. Can we try directly here, please? I believe for the orchestra that's 27. 27. 𝐿𝐴 directly. Thank you. It's much better in the articulation. We need more character in the 16 notes. Le, ma pla. So really, really precise in that sense. Once more. Yes. Can we go, please? Let's repeat once more figure 30 for the orchestra, please. That's the last high note. That's the one right before marchot marchot in the choir, the long one. So we take more time, please, in that one. In the quarter notes, we take more time. 30, please, for the orchestra, I believe, right? Yeah. Is it possible not to take such a long break? Mashi, mashi, so that we connect more. Please, once more, same thing. Thank you very much. We go back, please, a little bit. Carmen, 𝐲𝐻𝐫. That's for the orchestra number 6, please. I'm sorry, number 6, C number 6. May I suggest just one thing, please, for the very end? Don't mark too much at the end of the word. So no, 𝐷 Carmen, soy gentil. You know, the anxiety should come from the beginning. 𝐷 Carmen, réponds-nous. So that's the attitude, not just accentuating the first note in the bar. Once more. Can we try a bit faster? And just for the first one, we need to anticipate more because of the distance. Because here it comes a little bit late. Once more. It's 90% together. We need to be all precisely Carmen. Once more. Thank you. It's great. Can we do, please, just the orchestra ones, directly the andantino? The andantino. If I may ask, please, for the winds, for all the winds, when we have this offbeat feeling, the ta-ra-ra, ta-ra-ra. You know, this is right after she throws a flower to Don Jose. So this music is not about really about people running back to the factory in this sense, but this is really what happens inside him, because he's falling in love, and it's gonna be horrible. So we need to feel this anxiety, you know, like you're going crazy about it. So if we can have more pushing from the ta-ri-ra, ta-ra-ra, and for us it has to be really the most beautiful melody ever. So a lot of vibrato all the time, especially in the small notes. Can we try, please, Andantino, with a bit, just orchestra. Thank you. Can we go, please, from the allegretto before, so with this huge stroke in the brasses and the timpani? May I suggest that in the opposite to what I said before about the line, here we sing much more playful, so much more articulated. So really much more articulated, please. Let's do directly the allegretto. That's the brass and timpani place. As seco as possible. Fantastic. I think the little entrances in the winds can be a little louder. So clarinet and flutes afterwards. A little bit more present, please. And just for a possible concert, can I ask you to laugh for at least 2 bars? Please. Same place, once more. Let's try it. And thank you very much. We jump to the Habanera, please. I will try to push it and then we adjust. Good. Habanera. So for me, we start mezzo forte, please, exactly, and then diminuendo. Yeah. Try to always phrase forward. Thank you. Brava. Thank you. So Can we do, please, the first key change, so the first double bar? When we start in the choir, we did it now exactly as I asked, showing it, but I think we can find even more sostenuto. You know, she's completely real in this part. We are somewhere there, floating. It's just a comment. It should not be so present. So just keep the sostenuto. So really, really, really sostenuto all the time. And I think it can even be a little softer. You know, it's just a voice somewhere. Let's do, please, the key change. Directly here when you start. Fantastic. If I can ask one more thing, please, in this forte, prongata tua, we sing perfectly in tempo, but I think we need to make the 16th note, prong, more stretta, you know? The most important is the character, so pronga, pronga, even faster, you know, with this kind of posture like prongata tua, that's the most important thing. Can we try it once, please? Directly here, the prongata tua, that's the forte in the orchestra. Thank you. So here, to have more contrast to what we had before, please. Here we can articulate more. Prongata, tua, not that legato as before, so that we have really very clear change of character. Once more. Same thing. Thank you very much. That was really, really beautiful. Bravo. Thank you very much. We have 3 minutes. I would like to check one thing in the overture, only with the orchestra, please. Can we play, please, Bertha, letter B? Can we do César once more, please, directly? I think this acoustic supports a little bit more secco, but very vertical. César, 1 and. Thank you. Very good. Can I ask you to keep always the same character in the 16 notes, although it's piano and cantabile, but this is always very proud music, you know, like we need always a toreador posture. Once more, same place. Sorry. Let's do it once more. That was my fault. It was not a good habit. Same place. 1. Faster diminuendo in the strings, you know, so much more bipolar in the sense better note. So really always change, very fast change of characters. We need to do the same place again once more, please. César. 1. Perfect.
Luis Toro Araya, working with the Rotterdam Philharmonic Orchestra, the Laurens Symphony Choir, and the 5 soloists, Kelly Paukens, Claire Barnett-Jones, Floorike Beelen, Anton Kuzenok, and Raoul Stefani. We have a small break now, 15 minutes. We will continue at 11:40 with the 3 other conductors who are finalists, designated winners here of the International Conducting Competition Rotterdam. Chloe Rooke, Martijn Dendievel and Bertie Baigent will be working on the 2nd selection of Bizet's Carmen. Also 1 duo from the 1st act, some pieces from the 2nd, 3rd and 4th act will be on their desk, and also on the desk of all the musicians, of course. So, if you're watching on YouTube, let us know where you're watching from. A shout out to the people who've said they're from the United States, from Taiwan, Nigeria, and also a shout out to the people here in the hall, mostly, I guess, from the Netherlands. Wonderful that you're attending. In this small intermission, you, as a stream watcher, can watch a documentary made by Nander's Circle of Joel Sandelson. Do I say that correctly? Let me just check it very briefly. Yes, that is a documentary portrait of Joel Sandelson, which you've seen this morning already rehearse with the ensemble. See you in 15 minutes.
So I really just want to talk about what I love about the music and what inspires me in music. I don't want to talk about myself all that much. I really want to just get across what it is I love about music and why I decided to become a conductor. So for me, conducting is really all about the music. I just want to be there to open up the world of the music for the orchestra and for the audience to experience. And that really feeds into my idea of how to look at scores, because I don't want to have any sort of particular way I approach all music. I really want to let my approach be dictated by the individual piece of music and what that piece seems to be saying and how best to bring it to life in sound. So I really want to think of myself as a kind of tour guide to the music, to the amazing world that it opens up. Basically, I want this movement to be more like a sort of crazy opera buffer ensemble finale or something, so it's much more nervous. It's less about phrasing on a local level as the big character change, you know, big block here, different character here. So I'm here in Salzburg taking part in the Salzburg Festival's Herbert von Karajan Young Conductors Award, and I'll be performing this week with the Kammerorchester Salzburg, wonderful chamber orchestra. It's incredible to be playing a Mozart symphony in Salzburg itself with all its Mozart history, and slightly intimidating in a way because they have such strong ideas about Mozart and they have such a connection with him, and you get an amazing sense of what his life must have been like just seeing this basically Baroque town behind us, and that gives you a connection to the history of the music that you couldn't get anywhere else. So I feel like the upbeats are still a bit too heavy. Just has to have that walking feeling, bump, so we don't bring it over the bar line. So I was originally a cellist, and I loved and still love playing the cello, but I really love the opportunity conducting offers to really step back and think about the music in detail. Of course, cellists think deeply about the music too, but as a conductor, you do have to spend a lot of time really alone thinking about what this music means and how you can best convey it. Even more marcato on the last four, da 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 da, in this allargando. It can be a very lonely process sometimes because there's so much time where you're just really alone with the music, but the moments in the end where you can be with an orchestra and really bring it to life can be really exciting. Could we almost think less daga 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 dum, so it's just one big firework to the top, so we almost think forte piano crescendo. As a cellist, I spent a lot of time playing chamber music, and playing in a string quartet or a piano trio is something that teaches you so many lessons about being a musician, how to listen to other people, how to bring everyone together and make sure everyone's going in the same direction with the music, and it really feeds into my conducting in a very important way. I love it when conducting can be in some way a kind of collaboration. Even if I have strong ideas myself, there's always just a bit of individuality from the orchestra, or a lot of individuality that can be very inspiring, and that makes it into more of a shared artistic enterprise. So there's a tiny bit of flexibility we can find in exactly that place. That was great. Just at the start of this movement, the experience of conducting Mozart generally and this symphony, you really have to kind of dance with the music and be incredibly free. And I've never been able to dance in other respects, but it's something it really makes you do as a conductor. I love just really immersing myself in the other arts, in literature and visual art in particular. And it's something that really feeds into my understanding of music, because music is about humanity, it's about human concerns, it's not just abstract collections of notes. It has a really central place in the history of the arts and ideas, and I love just letting all that literature and visual art and philosophy feed into the music. Another piece on the programme I'm working on this week is a piece called Mystère de l'Instant by Henri Dutilleux. It's a window into a whole world of philosophy and literature and the other arts, which I absolutely love learning about. And especially if we think of certain French philosophers like Bergson and how they think about time. Time for them is not something that we can measure in clocks, it's something that we experience in very different ways internally. And the way Dutilleux tries to capture this differing sense of passing time. So for me, learning about that background and that background in the other arts and philosophy really inspires me as a musician. If you can understand the thought that goes into these pieces, and rather than just how they sound as a listener, that can be very inspiring as a conductor. I've been thinking about the parallel, for instance, between the rise of the novel and the rise of the symphony at exactly the same time, and how you get, at the same time in history, the start of kind of linear time in music, as well as the idea of the novel and perspective in visual art. So there are these really interesting, broad historical parallels that emerge when you think about this sort of thing. So now I'm up here in my study, which is where I do most of my preparation and work on the scores. I'm just trying to build up as high resolution an image of the music that I can for myself. And it can be a really difficult process at times, because sometimes you feel like you don't exactly know what you're looking for, but if you spend enough time just absorbing the music and looking for openings in it, you know, so trying to figure out what it's all about, what it's trying to say, then it just goes in somehow. So I think I have a way of writing in a score that only I can really understand. I don't think it makes any sense to anyone else. It might be the occasional analytical point about a piece, like where we are in the structure. It might be just the blocks of the phrasing to make it easier to read, or even occasionally just a word that is particularly evocative, or just an image of the music that can just be one helpful word to remember. I think it's about analysing it and thinking about what sort of story the music is trying to tell, and you know what its particular perfumes and colours are, and what makes it special as a piece. And then after that, it's just about trying to figure out how I want it to sound, and what the problems will be, how to make it work practically with an orchestra. My personal relationship with music, with other art, with literature, I find that very inspiring, but in a way, you can only go so far with that, because in the end, conducting is about a human connection with the orchestra and the audience. So all of that preparation only gets you so far, but it's really about combining that with trying to just ignite something in the real situation with the orchestra when I'm standing in front of them. So music, it seems to combine a very, you can be very thoughtful about it all in one sense and really prepare and understand, but then there's something that has to be completely spontaneous and visceral about actually performing. So it's the mixture of those two sides that is quite difficult about conducting, but a very important thing to grasp.
4, which is taking place in the Doelen in Rotterdam. The orchestra is still enjoying a small coffee break here at the Doelen, the Rotterdam Philharmonic Orchestra. And also the choir is coming back, the Laurens Symphony Choir, as well as the jury. Ágreda, 𝐊𝐿𝐫𝐿, Ed Spanjaard, Elmar Weingarten, Sophie de Lind, Giordano Bellincampi, Enrique Mazzola, 𝐾𝐨 and Jeremy Geffen. They have the difficult task, or maybe it is not difficult for them, I don't know, to judge the 6 conductors that are the designated winners of ICCR, the finalists. Carlos Ágreda, Bertie Baigent, Chloe Rooke, Martijn Dendievel, Luis Toro, Araya and Joel Sandelson are the 6 conductors. 3 of them we have already heard this morning during the public rehearsal here. Yesterday they've had a private rehearsal with all the musicians, which is both judged by the jury as well as the concert of tonight at 8 o'clock Central European time, for which 4 of the 6 conductors will be selected. We are live on YouTube and on ICCR.nl, but also through our media partners, Medici.tv, the Violin Channel, Amadeus.tv, Takt 1. Thank you very much for being our partner and expanding our online audience. Hello to you watching. Let us know where you're from. We love to know that. We've seen people from the United States, from Taiwan, from Nigeria, from Ireland, and here in the hall people can attend who are in Rotterdam, wherever they're from. My name is 𝐿𝐞𝐬𝐿 𝐀𝐮. I'm the presenter of the ICCR, which is a great, great honor. It's a very special competition. It's new. It's the first edition, and the special thing about this is that all the 6 conductors are here for the whole week, and they get to conduct top ensembles. They have worked with Sinfonia Rotterdam last Thursday in a proms round, an outdoor concert. Then on Saturday they've worked with the Doelen Ensemble on contemporary music. Last Monday they were here with the orchestra of the 18th century, working on classical repertoire, Beethoven, Haydn, Schubert. And today and on Friday with the Rotterdam Philharmonic, an international top orchestra. We're all very thrilled here. It's exciting because many people are involved in this 4th round, which is dedicated to the opera. And one opera in particular, Bizet's Carmen. 2 selections were made from the opera. During the morning session, the first selection was worked on. Now we'll have the other selection, on which Chloe Rooke, Martijn Dendievel and Bertie Baigent will work. The Seguidilla from the first act, 𝐿'Étrangle des Sistres Taillant. From the second act, the quintet from the second act, the entr'acte to the third act, and Les Voici from the 4th act. Those are the numbers on which the conductors will work on this second morning session, so to speak. The soloists are Kelly Paukens, Claire Barnett-Jones, Florieke Beelen, Anton Kuzenok and Raoul Stefani. During the rehearsals they will probably not give 100%. That is, of course, to spare their voices for tonight's concert, in which they will give all they have. They've also been rehearsing yesterday, so a shout out to them. Thank you very much for being with us, for all your efforts. And we are all, I guess, looking forward to your beautiful singing tonight. You as an audience also have a vote. I'm looking behind if they are already ready for the rehearsal. Orchestra is going to tune. You have a vote. Go to ICCR.nl/vote to bring out your vote for the Audience Award. I'll be quiet now. Orchestra is tuning, and we'll continue with Chloe Rooke. And
Goedemorgen, I think. Just good morning. Hello, choir. Nice to meet you. Hey, cool. We're going to begin with your number. This is number 26, the March and Chorus. The last one of this selection. With a super funky ending. So you can have a little rest for now. I'm going to do the two ones you're not in first, and then we'll come back and do the quintet and maybe a bit of the seguidia. Thank you very much. Cool. Let's go back just a few places. Gentlemen, may we go from Et puis saluons? This is figure 5, 4 bars before you come in. We're just getting a bit behind. You're quite quiet, there's such a distance, but we're just getting a little bit behind there. I was doing it in 1, it's perhaps easier if I do it in 2, so we stay on top of the beat. Great. Figure 5. So really long lines here, and also when we get to bravo, viva, gloire, au courage, really nice long legato here. Figure 5. Yan, da, 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 super bright, completely different to the next brass bit, which is very soft. Figure 5, twitty. If we could save a bit of the crescendo for 2 before 7, that would be great, especially in the strings. So we have a nice big crescendo 2 bars before 7, also where the brass come in. Just save some of that. That's nice and big. One more time. We were still slightly behind in the first 2 bars, otherwise beautiful. That legato works really nicely. Same again. Tun, 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 and a little emphasis on each bar. Tun, 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 tun. Figure 8, please. Figure 8, please. Une autre. And just be careful, choir, with the difference between the triplet upbeats and the 16th upbeats. Une autre, ba-bum, foyer, etc. Just make sure we get that absolutely different. Especially hard when we've got 16ths in the brass, so try and ignore them a little.
Une autre quadrille s'avance, une autre quadrille s'avance. Voyez les picadors, voyez les picadors. Ils sont vivants, les reines de l'or, c'est fait passer les gens des Toro. L'espada, l'espada,
just that we have a little bit more weight and just a little bit here would be great. We've got slightly out just going into it. We can just do, please, this is 4 before 10. 𝐿𝐴𝐵, the first 𝐿𝐴𝐵, could I have a D flat, please? Just and a G flat. 𝐿𝐴𝐵, a D flat and a G flat. Yeah, 𝐿𝐴𝐵, 𝐿𝐴𝐵, a D flat. Yes, okay. We'll go, it's actually for the orchestra anyway. 4 before 10, and choir, you'll hear when we come in. 4 before 10. This is going into 1. One more time, please. Just do the opening again, and then we're going to move on. Beginning. Yes, so orchestra, we're very soft and very covered. It's kind of distant, but choir loud. So, yes, I'm going to probably be doing justice for choir, but I'll give you nice and loud entries here in the sopranos where we come in. Yes, from the beginning of the march. The beginning of the march. Okay, good, I'm glad we clarified. Trumpets, you guide this crescendo here. Dum. That can be nice and warm going into figure 1, please. Dum. Just we open up the sound. Very nice. Thank you so much, chorus. You'll have another chance to do this with the other conductors as well, but thank you. We're now going to do the intermezzo, please. Number 2 of 4 in my selection. Is that, I don't know what numbering you have, sorry. 4 or 2. We just run this one. Nice, bravo, bravo, thank you. Just a few things for me. We take a little bit of time going into A, this is beautiful. In general, when we get to the 6 bars before B, if we could not pull up between phrases, I would like, so 6 bars before B, we feel these in 2-bar phrases in terms of the phrasing, but not too much in terms of the tempo, so we keep a tempo flow there. Dee da dee da 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 dee da 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 dee. not too much time over those bar lines. And then 2 before B, and then the bar before B, we go into B in the phrasing here, and the dynamics are marked as written. May we go, please, 6 before B? I'll show you what I mean. Thank you. 6 before B. Thank you very much. Cool, that's how that goes. Nice, we're going to do a bit more on the quintet, please. This is number 15, yeah, as my memory serves me. The quintet, number 15, or number 3 in this selection. Cool. I think this is the first time we've done it today. Let's start again from the beginning, but we don't need to work on the beginning. We will work on the tricky middle section. We might not do the whole thing, but we'll get until where the tempérie comes back, and then we'll do some rehearsal. From the beginning. Maybe my tempo is a little perkier than what came later yesterday.
Nous avons ôté une affaire, il est admirable, ma chère, mais nous avons besoin de vous, oui, nous avons besoin de vous, de vous, de vous, de vous, oui, nous avons besoin de vous, de vous, de vous, de vous, oui, nous avons besoin de vous, car nous l'avons seulement, il faut respectueusement, oui, nous l'avons humblement. Quand il s'agit de tromperie, de rebellie, de volerie, il est toujours au-dessus, ma foi, dans la femme avec ça, et sans elle, mais toute belle, on ne fait jamais bien le bien. Sans nous, jamais le bien, sans nous, pas jamais bien le bien. Ne t'évoque pas de cette année, si fait, je suis de cette année. Ne t'évoque pas de cette année, si fait, je suis de cette année. C'est mon devoir, je suis de cette année. Quand il s'agit de rebellie, il est toujours au-dessus, ma foi, dans la femme avec ça, et sans elle, mais toute belle, on ne fait jamais bien le bien. Et sans elle, mais toute belle, on ne fait jamais bien le bien. Et quand il s'agit de tromperie, de duperie, de volerie, il est toujours au-dessus, ma foi, devant les femmes avec soi. Et c'est comme ça, c'est comme ça, il est toujours avec soi. C'est dit alors, vous partirez.
Quand vous voudrez, quand vous voudrez.
Mais tout de suite.
Permettez, s'il vous plaît, de partir. Mais je ne suis pas de voyage. Je ne pars pas, je ne pars pas.
Carmen, mon amour, tu viendras et tu n'auras pas le courage de nous laisser dans l'embarras.
Carmen, tu viendras.
Mais pour moi, la raison, Carmen, tu la diras.
La raison, la raison, la raison, la raison. Je la dirai certainement.
Voyons, voyons,
Voyons, voyons, la raison, c'est qu'en ce moment,
eh bien,
eh bien,
sérieuse.
Amoureuse à perdre l'esprit.
La chose certes nous étonne, mais ce n'est pas le près où vous aurez su ma mignonne faire marcher le front de voir l'amour, faire marcher le devoir et l'amour.
Mais je serai force de partir avec vous ce soir, mais cette fois vous voudrez, il faudra ce soir l'amour me demande de voir.
Ce n'est pas la ton dernier mot.
Absolument.
Il faut que tu te laisses entendrir. Il faut venir, Amen. Il faut venir. Pour notre affaire, c'est nécessaire. Par entre nous. Quand il s'agit de tromperie, de duperie, de volerie.
Thank you. Woo, that's great. Let's just work backwards on a little bit of this. This is very nice, the diminuendo. Make sure this between 4 and 5, we go up to 14, then we have a diminuendo. Make sure that is really definitely there, and also in the voices. Make sure that we do a diminuendo there, going down into figure 5. Let's go back to figure C. Figure C before figure 4. Just not yes. Make sure we don't rush. Yeah, just figure C. Figure C.
La chose certes nous étonne, mais ce n'est pas le près où vous aurez su ma mignonne faire marcher le front de devoir, l'amour, faire marcher le devoir et l'amour.
Mais je serai force de partir avec vous ce soir, mais cette fois vous voudrez, il faudra ce soit l'amour hasardant le devoir.
Ce n'est pas la ton dernier mot.
And we do this little passage 5 before 3A, please. 5 before 3A. Do you have 3A? 5 before 3A. La raison. Maybe a D, possibly. La. Great. 1.
Voyons, la raison, c'est qu'en ce moment,
Eh bien,
je suis amoureuse.
Can we just start on 2 before B, please? Just start on there so we get the grit in the sound, and then we'll do once. On 2 before B is
And it's really four all the way up. And now let's do please 6 before B. Je suis amoureux. 6 before B. Je suis
Carmen, sois sérieuse.
amoureuse à perdre l'esprit.
Yes, thank you. That's my time. Thank you very much.
working on Carmen by Martijn Dendievel is next.
Dear chorus and dear brass, we need 10 more minutes on the quintet and then we will move to La Voici. Yeah? So let's start where we stopped off yesterday. The quintet. I think it's what you just did now already. Yeah. So before we play, can I ask in the winds that we add a forte piano at letter B? Do we have letter B? I think this is where you just stopped, right? Yeah? Yes, so that means for the horns and the woodwinds, a forte piano in the first bar, and the second bar then a crescendo. And the same thing 4 bars later. Yeah? Because otherwise we are covering up the singers here. Yeah? Good, let's start at 6th before that, the molto ritenuto. Je suis amoureux. Yeah?
Carmen, sois sérieuse.
Amoureuse à perdre l'esprit.
La chose est certaineuse, mais ce n'est pas le premier jour où vous aurez une marinade, faire marcher le front de voir, faire marcher le devoir et l'amour.
Mais amis, je serai fortesse de partir avec vous ce soir. Mais cette fois que vous déplaise, il voudra que l'amour passe le voir. Ce soit l'amour préservant de le voir.
Ce n'est pas ton dernier mot.
Absolument.
Il faut que tu te laisses entendre. Il faut venir, Carmen, il faut venir. Pour notre affaire, c'est nécessaire. Entre nous,
Car entre nous, dans cela, je l'admets avec vous.
quand il s'agit de tromperie, de rêverie, de volerie, il est toujours sur ma voix, dans les femmes et avec ça. Et sans elle, il est toute belle, ne fait jamais guérir. Et sans elle, il est toute belle, ne fait jamais guérir. Et quand il s'agit de tromperie, de duperie, de volerie, il est toujours sur ma voix, dans les femmes et avec ça.
Et sur ma voix, sur ma voix,
Sur ma voix, il est toujours ta voix. Les femmes avec ça, toujours les femmes avec ça.
Yes, good. So let's add an accelerando on the last 3 bars. And maybe the last note's not so heavy, but rather light. Tiraram, pop, pim, pop. Just throw it away. Yeah? Can we do only orchestra the last 9 bars? Only orchestra the last 9 bars. After the fermata. That's it. Good. So then before, I want to ask the violins at C if we can add a little portato together with the voices of our dear singers. This is in the 4th bar. Yes. Yeah. And then only the 4th bar, not the one in triple piano. Yes? Exactly. And then for all the strings, molto vibrato every time we have this small accent. Should be a little bit like comical in a way. Yeah? And then afterwards, there is one interesting thing which I would like to try out. We have all the time like dynamics, crescendo, diminuendo, and then we have 4 bars of pianissimo totale. This is before D, 2 bars. Can we have this really like immobile? And then the cellos take the lead for the crescendo. But we don't do any, like, maybe also senza vibrato or something. So we have this sudden color change, yeah? Good. when we arrive after that, you need to be more convincing. You know, ce n'est pas ça ton dernier mot. Ah! Yeah, you need to convince her that, you know, right now it's a bit too nice. Yeah, so also if you can look at her maybe for this, it would be, yeah, a little bit. Good. Let's do before this. B was nice, that was good. Let's start 3 before C, please. 3 bars before C. Amoureux. Yeah. So this is 3 before.
E flat, sorry.
E flat, a little more.
La chose certaine nous étant, mais ce n'est pas le près du jour où vous aurez si maniable faire marcher le front et le voile.
Can we really try once this bar senza vibrato subito? Just to see what color it gets. We should have more differentiation in this element. Yeah? Directly C. Direct letter C. C.
La chose certaine nous étonne, mais ce n'est pas près du jour où vous aurez si maniable faire marcher les froids et les voiles.
Yes.
Le devoir et l'amour, faire marcher le devoir et l'amour. Ce n'est pas le ton dernier mot. Absolument. Il faut que tu te laisses attendrir. Il faut venir, Carmen. Il faut venir pour notre affaire. C'est nécessaire.
Good. So in the orchestra, from number 4 on, it would be nice if in the forte we don't suddenly change the lightness of the sound we had before. So let's stay in this leggero forte, but I need more from you. And especially the second entrance is still in forte. You're already going down. Pour notre affaire, there should still be, you know, you still haven't given up on taking her. Yeah? And also you can be a little more like, absolument. You know, you're absolutely sure what you want. Yeah? Okay, number 4 directly, please. Number 4. Ce n'est pas ça. Much better. Okay, number 4, please.
Ce n'est pas là son dernier mot. Absolument. Il faut que tu te laisses attendrir. Il faut venir, Carmen. Il faut venir pour notre affaire. C'est nécessaire. Entre nous. Quand il s'agit de tromper, de libérer, de voler, il est toujours sur ma voie, d'avoir les femmes avec ça. 𝐿 toute belle, ne fait jamais rien de bien. 𝐿 toute belle, ne fait jamais rien de bien. Mais quand il s'agit de tromper, de libérer, de voler, il est toujours sur ma voie, d'avoir les femmes avec soi. Sur ma voie, sur ma voie, sur ma voie, il est toujours sur ma voie. Et les femmes avec soi, toujours les
Okay, let's now do the beginning of this piece once, so we get the 2 different tempi I want to achieve. The first tempo is a little bit slower, and then from the second time, really, let's go. Okay? Just the beginning of this number.
Nous avons en tête une affaire.
Est-elle bonne, dites-nous? Est-elle bonne, dites-nous?
Il est admirable, ma chère. Nous avons besoin de vous.
Oui, nous avons besoin de vous.
De vous, de vous,
De nous,
de vous,
de nous,
de vous,
de nous. Oui, nous avons besoin de vous.
de vous,
De nous,
slow. So we need to find a way to have this a little bit, clear tempo, but without losing the feeling of andante. Yeah. Once more, please. I'm sorry, I'm giving the wrong cues. I had this once where the guys were standing left. So tonight I will be sure that I give you the right cue. So once more. Always with direction. Yeah.
Nous avons en tête une affaire.
Est-elle bonne, dites-nous? Est-elle bonne, dites-nous?
Elle est admirable, ma chère. Mais nous avons besoin de vous.
Oui, nous avons besoin de vous.
De vous.
De vous.
De vous.
De vous.
De vous.
De nous.
Oui, nous avons besoin de vous. De vous.
De nous.
De vous.
De nous.
De vous.
De nous.
De vous.
Oui, nous avons besoin de vous.
Car nous l'avons simplement. Il faut respectueusement. Il Quand il s'agit de tromperie, de rubérie, de volerie, il est toujours beau sur ma foi, d'avoir la femme avec soi. Il sans elle, les deux de belle, on ne fait jamais rien de bien.
Sans nous, jamais rien de bien. Sans nous, jamais rien de bien.
Ne te fais pas de cette avis.
C'est fait, je suis de cet avis.
Ne te fais pas de cette avis.
C'est fait, je suis de cet avis.
C'est mon amour, je suis de cet avis.
Il est toujours beau sur ma foi, d'avoir les femmes avec soi. Il sans elle, les deux de belle, on ne fait jamais rien de bien. Il sans elle, les deux de belle, on ne fait jamais rien de bien. Quand il s'agit de tromperie, de rubérie, de volerie, il est toujours beau sur ma foi, d'avoir les femmes avec soi. Oui, sur ma foi, sur ma foi, sur ma foi.
C'est vite alors, vous partirez.
Quand vous voudrez, quand vous voudrez.
Mais tout de suite.
Ah, permettez, permettez, s'il vous plaît.
Good. Thank you. Okay, the last one, please. Les voici. Number 26. Short on time. I need to ask the orchestra, even if I'm conducting energetic, to have a little more place for the chorus in the ear. It's just a question of giving a little more space. It's a big hall, and it needs to be in balance also over there. Yeah, so a little bit softer when the choir comes in. Good. Once more from the beginning. You know, the first entrance, it's very nice, but I think it should be more surprising. Oh, they're coming. Yes, and also when you come in, guys, it's the same thing. It's more this feeling of something is going to happen. Yeah? Da capo? might be that you're giving already everything, but right here it's a little bit more too much like oratorium. Can we try to really have the idea of we are on stage, we are dressed, we are a wild crowd looking forward to a wild bullfight. Yeah. So I mean, ta tam bim ta tam ta tim. Something also in the way of lev voici. I mean, the pronunciation can be even sharper and even clearer. Yeah. Good. One last time at the beginning. We'll get this absolutely together. We have only 40 after number 3. Yeah, I know I need to give them energy, so let's just react like a nice, proper opera orchestra. So really just don't look at me in the best case. Just let's play piano, okay? Can we, and the beginning was much better, chorus, thank you so much. At number 3, when we have the children coming in, can we just think the consonants much longer? Right now they are completely disappearing. Voici des. Just think them a little bit longer so we get really a hold of this text. Let's start 4 before, please. 4 before 3. 4 before number 3. nice things. The entrance of alti and bassi, 4/9. There we need a little more consonant. Come. Also, it's just the same thing. Just sing this ka. I mean, it's a C, but it's spoken as a ka a little bit longer. Come. So we hear this. Yeah. This is still a little bit in the dark in the back. Yes. Before that, after 5, I know it's forte in the cello, and I love the energy, but it's too loud. Yeah. We need to find a way to have, this is one of the places where it's not only energetic, but also cantabile. Yeah? Et puis saluons au passage. Yeah? So we need to find a way that this can be more noble without having to. Yeah? Then, can I have only orchestra ones? 2/6. 2/6, only orchestra. So the 2 bars where we have continuous triplets, let's avoid any accent. It's very precise, and that's the problem. Yeah, much more coperto. Once more, please. And let's maybe try sul tasto for the cello. Yeah. Now, when the singers come in, don't change, please, any dynamic. We stay in this beautiful pianissimo, so we can sing forte. Okay? Let's start at 5. So we take both bases. Number 5, please. But I hear Eva, viva, gloire. Please, more. Yeah? And let's make sure we stay in the same tempo. Orchestra is a little bit rushing. I have to keep them in tempo. Don't look at me. Yeah? 5, please. 5. Will be good. Only one more thing. The second, une autre quadrille s'avance is rushing. Une autre quadrille s'avance. Please don't rush on the second one. And l'espada should be a little bit earlier. Okay, 8 more seconds. It's for the orchestra. Is it clear what the order of the pieces is? Yes. So after the quintet, we have the intermezzo, and then we have this one. Yeah. Okay, and I don't know if I will be conducting tonight, but in case we do the intermezzo in concerts, we can only make magic once. I mean, you know the piece. I hope I do know it, so let's finish. Okay, see you tonight, hopefully. Bravi, thank you.
Martijn Dendievel working on Carmen. Of course, he's hoping to be conducting tonight. I'm sure all of the 6 are, but only 4 will be selected by the jury for tonight's concert here at the Doelen during the International Conducting Competition Rotterdam. Next, Bertie Baigent.
Good morning, everyone. It's lovely to be back with you, and good morning to the choir as well. Great to see you. We'll start with the march and chorus at the end, Les Voici. And can I just check, who is singing the children's chorus line? So almost all the sopranos and altos for it. Excellent. Okay. Do stand. Very little time. It's a lovely sound, but it's quite polite, and really you're calling for blood here. So it has to be much more energetic, particularly in the rhythm. I think on Les Voici, we're a little too slow coming off le, so the vowel needs to come on the beat, le. So if you start the le a little sooner, then it will be really precise. In the very first 2 bars as well in the orchestra, I don't have any second bassoon playing, so could we maybe just have a little less, I mean, it's, who knows what the score is, but just a little less second bassoon so it's very, very soft. It's wonderful now. When we get to the tutti at figure 1, I still think we can have much more energy in the rhythm. It probably doesn't need to be loud, but it's all about this excitement. You know, you can see something which the rest of us can't, and you have to really project it to the very back of the hall so that they believe that you can actually see something and you're excited about it. Otherwise, it's just, you know, it's not so exciting. It has to have that tension in the sound. For the orchestra at figure 1, I suspect we're going to need to be quite a lot softer as well. So can we mark this down to mezzo forte molto marcatissimo, and then at figure 2 we come right up and it's a real explosion. And I think for everyone, whenever we have yum ba 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 bum, focus a little more on the 16ths because they just rush forwards at the moment. Yum ba 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 bum ba 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 bum. So it's always very, very precise and marcato. Let's take 4 bars before figure 1, please. 4 before figure 1. Stopping in this, because I guess you've probably played this already this morning. The words "abba," I think this is a bit more percussive, perhaps, here. So this is an insult, really. And I think the b can come out more like a p almost. Aba, aba, aba. So it's very aggressive with that. I also think the vowel on ba can be a little more hard. At the moment it comes out ba, like a sheep, but it needs to be ba, like a, you know, throwing a dart. Aba, aba, aba. Can we all just say that once? 1, 2, 1, 2. Aba, 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 aba. Great, exactly. So that kind of precision is really important. Figure 3, please. Voici des bouchons. And there's a C sharp. And D. Similarly on voyez, also just having the v a little bit sooner. At the moment it slows us down. Voyez, so the comes on the beat again. Can we take figure 5? This is a lovely sound from the trombones, thank you. I would keep it a little stronger for a little longer as well in the trombones. And when the melody comes in, we can have more from the chorus and maybe slightly less from the orchestra here. Focus on espressivo rather than it being so long. Figure 5, thank you. May we just try, imagine the sounds that you're like an on-stage orchestra in an opera. So it's, for these first 5, you know, it's molto marcatissimo and very present. Then, you know, let's call it mezzo forte afterwards. But the sound is still very strong and powerful. So it'd be great if no one's looking at their copy at that point. It's absolutely crying out. A big placing here of the new tempo. So just very strong. This is the moment you've been waiting for. just a little earlier, at figure 10, we'll do a little bit of a placing into the 5th measure of figure 10. 𝐃𝐨𝐧𝐝𝐵, this bit here, and maybe we'll take a slightly slower tempo for those first 2 measures and then move it back along. Can we just take straight on figure 10, please? And the key is the timpani, actually, so if the triplets can be very, very clear for that, we'll all put our wit with you. Figure 10, 𝐿𝐵. Do you have figures? Sorry. Yeah, right. So just making a little more time, 𝐿𝐵 at the very beginning, and then we'll move it along a little. So just hold those first da-yum, ba-bum, bum, yum, a little longer. Same place? Thank you very much. Just 2 little tiny points in this. At figure 12, it's very loud, which is excellent, but the rhythm in the chorus is the most important thing. I don't really mind what the words are, we've heard them all before, but hearing that coming through really punctually is very, very important there. And then the other thing is, 4 measures before figure 12, the orchestra drops down to a sort of piano, mezzo piano, but we don't. We stay strong in the chorus here. And so I think that's, your solo moment to come through really strongly. Can we just start it one more time, please? From the top. Thank you. Maybe let's also agree on this E as well. Can we just play everyone with an E sounding? We all know those first 2 words. So eyes up, eyes either at me or at the back of the hall. Never see. So it's very, very prompt. One more time. And a little more timpani, perhaps. Thank you very much. I will cue you as well, the altos. I'm sorry I missed that one, but I will be there in the concert for that. Thank you, fantastic. Do have a seat. Let's take the intermezzo, please. beautiful solos as well. I think actually, given we have such a lovely acoustic, let's play into the hall a little more, so it can be a little stronger from all of the three of you, I think, actually. At figure B, in fact, 2 bars before figure B, this is the amazing melody, which is it's bigger than any vocal range here, isn't it? So let's really play it like that. It's a wonderful melody. It can be very legato, very creamy, and just a little more from the cellos to support the violins along that, all the way through to that E flat that we're aiming for, 8 bars later. Fabulous, thank you very much. I guess it's kind of up to you. Have you done the quintet today? So we've done that. Okay, great. Let's just start the quintet and then we'll have a look at a couple of the others. So the quintet, please. This is number 15, I think it might be called. I think, I don't know if I do it faster than the others. Let's just move it a little more at the very start. Maybe start a little stronger and diminuendo as well in these first 2 measures. I'm really sorry to stop. The first note, it lingers, and I think it just needs to be da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-dum. So no rubato at all in the first 2 measures.
Nous avons ôté une affaire.
Est-elle la bonne, dites-nous? Est-elle la bonne, dites-nous?
Elle est admirable, ma chère, mais nous avons besoin de vous. Mais nous avons besoin de vous. De vous, de vous, de nous, de vous, de nous, de vous, de nous. Mais nous avons besoin de vous. De vous, de nous, de vous, de nous, de vous, de nous, de vous. Mais nous avons besoin de vous. Car nous l'avons simplement. Il faut respectueusement. Et nous l'avons simplement. Quand il s'agit de tromperie, de pays, de volerie, il est toujours bon sur ma foi d'avoir les femmes avec soi. 𝐼𝐶CR, les toutes belles, ne fait jamais rien de bien.
Dansons-nous jamais rien de bien, sans doute, mais jamais rien de bien.
Ne te fous pas de cet avis.
C'est fait, je suis de cet avis.
Ne te fous pas de cet avis.
C'est fait, je suis de cet avis.
Vraiment, ne te fous pas de cet avis. Il est toujours bon sur ma foi d'avoir les femmes avec soi. 𝐼𝐶CR, les toutes belles, ne fait jamais rien de bien. 𝐼𝐶CR, les toutes belles, ne fait jamais rien de bien.
I think it just has a tendency to slow down sometimes as it crescendos. I don't know if it's because we're using a little too much bow, but I think just keep it very, very leggero, even when it's forte. It almost has this sort of feel much more kind of ironic, this whole one. There's only one serious line, I think, in this whole number, which is Je suis amoureuse. All of the rest of it is very ironic and playful. And I think if it's too heavy, it's a little too serious. So it just has to have a kind of lightness, and it's like a joke, basically. Can we just take, we've just got to figure 6. Let's just go from there. And we'll just try that for a few bars. That's the first quand il s'agit. That's very soft. So it's, sorry, it's oui quand il s'agit, the first one. Yeah, sorry, that was me.
Quand il s'agit de tromperie, de volerie, il est toujours bon sur ma foi d'avoir les femmes avec soi.
Oui, c'est la
C'est dit alors, vous partirez.
Quand vous voudrez.
Great, thank you. Can I lead vous partirez there? That's the feel. It just needs to have that, lightness up in the air. If you'll let me, we'll just start it one more time to get that quality. From the very beginning of it, sorry, one more time. Just a few bars, just to get that.
Nous avons en tête une affaire.
Est-elle bonne, dites-nous? Est-elle bonne, dites-nous?
Il est admirable.
The clarinet could be a little more on the front of the beat, but apart from that, that's exactly the spirit of it, just ticking away like that. Bravo, thank you very much to the soloists. 𝐿'Étrangle, this is number 12, please. Don't do the Segedier today? Great. Thank you. Number 12. We'd better just play from the beginning because we don't have a letter. We'll finish there. Thank you for going over a couple of minutes at the end. Bravo, thank you.
𝐿'Étrangle, musicians. In one of the movements, there was no trumpet part or cornet part. And these two, while you were playing, found the part online.
Wonderful words from 𝐼𝐜𝐵𝐿𝐼𝐼, chairman of the jury, for the orchestra and especially for the trumpet players. Apparently there was a score or part missing, and they found it while the orchestra was rehearsing on their iPhones, and they were playing from their phones. A very funny anecdote. That's what happens here at the International Conducting Competition Rotterdam. 6 conductors have had their public rehearsal this morning with the Rotterdam Philharmonic Orchestra, the Laurens Symphony Choir, and the 5 soloists Kelly Paukens, Claire Barnett-Jones, Floorike Beelen, Anton Kuzenok, and Raúl Stefani. The jury: 𝐼𝐜𝐵𝐿𝐼, Ed Spanjaard, Elmar Weingarten, Sophie de Lind, Giordano Bellincampi, Enrique Mazzola, Kim Noltemy, and Jeremy Geffen. They will discuss now whom of the 6 conductors will be performing tonight, and of them 4 will be performing during tonight's concert at 8 o'clock Central European Time. Until then, we have a break, but you can still vote for the Audience Award. Please do so on iccr.nl/vote. Because the Audience Award is a big prize, 10,000 euros to be awarded to one of the 6 conductors: Luis Toro, Araya, Martijn Dendievel, Chloe Rooke, Bertie Baigent, Carlos Ágreda, or Joel Sandelson. So if one of the 6 is your favorite, pick him or her and vote on iccr.nl/vote. For now, we won't have a documentary, I guess. Let me just check it on my schedule here. No, we will just have a break until tonight. So I hope to see you back on YouTube or on iccr.nl or via one of our media partners, Medici.tv, Amadeus.tv, the Violin Channel, or Takt 1. Have a great day and see you tonight, 8 o'clock Central Europe time, for the concert of Round 4 Opera.